Natalie Fenner. I've just started as a research lecturer here in SBS, School of Biological Sciences, and I've been researching the effects of climate change on peatland systems. The reason being that these systems store huge amounts of carbon. Peatland habitats are really important. Firstly, because they do represent this huge store of carbon that would otherwise be in our atmospheres, causing global warming. Secondly, they act as a kind of flood defence mechanism because they soak up water from heavy rainfall events. Thirdly, they provide habitat for rare species. And finally, they collect drinking water for millions of citizens. Just recently, we've been looking at the effects of severe drought on peatland systems, and that's because severe drought is predicted to increase with global warming. What we've discovered is that these severe drought events induce a whole cascade of events or processes that occur in peatland systems and increase decomposition rates. And this is really bad because it increases carbon loss from these systems. And our new findings is that the cascade is not turned off when waterlogging returns. So this cascade or chain reaction cannot be stopped, and the effect lasts for at least a decade, possibly two. What this means is that if the frequency of severe drought events increases with global warming, then our peatlands may never recover. Two main problems with this, mainly related to carbon losses. So the first is that increased carbon loss in gaseous form, so carbon dioxide and methane, represents accelerated global warming. So increased greenhouse gases are going to be released from peatlands. And the second main problem is that carbon is released in dissolved form, so in the water that is exported from our peatlands and ends up in our reservoirs. So dissolved organic carbon, as we call it, gives us problems because it interferes with the water treatment process, so it decreases the quality of our drinking water.
My name's Professor Chris Freeman, and I'm in charge of the lab here, the Wolfson Carbon Capture Lab, and it's really impressive to see what Natalie's achieved with this paper. She's going to be making a major impact in the science in an area that we've been specialising in Bangor for quite a few years now. It's certainly very disturbing to think that so much carbon could now be released, and I don't think anyone had appreciated before now that it's not just when conditions get dry in peatlands that we need to worry, it's the time after the water's come back in, and that can actually be far worse in terms of its implications than the period of the drought itself. So I really think Natalie's going to make a big impact with this work, and it's going to be very useful for Bangor to be seen as a leader in this particular area of science.